Eartips should be the first thing you think of changing when you want to augment the characteristics of your earphone. It changes the sound most dramatically while also being the most cost-effective way of tweaking sound to best suit your taste. So in today's video, I will share with you some of my recent favorites. But just before that, I'd want to just get into some of the physical properties of eartips so you guys can judge how a eartip would perform on your own as well. So firstly, the nozzle opening. This part affects drastically the treble and upper mid-range performance of the eartip. With a larger opening, it will allow for treble to just pass directly straight to your ears without much damping. It allows for earphones to sound airier with more resolution as well. The inverse is also true should the nozzle opening of the eartips be a bit smaller. It will make your earphone sound darker with reduced treble and air. The dome. This refers to the part of the eartips that come into contact with your ears. The material in this portion will affect the overall comfort and the levels of isolation. Generally, the higher the isolation levels, the more prominent the bass. Therefore, the thickness of the dome does really matter. If it's just too thin and flimsy, you just not get much bass, but if it's too thick, then you get lots of bass. And lastly, the stem. The stem basically determines if the eartip allows for shallow fit or deep fit. Also, the thicker it is, the better it carries bass. The more flimsy it is, the less impactful bass sounds as well. With that said, let's jump into some of my favorites. Final Type E. These have been my favorite for years for good reason. It's just simply so versatile. I would describe these eartips to be very well-rounded, but let's just go through some of their properties. These are certainly not neutral. There is a slight cut in treble section due to a smaller nozzle opening, which many will appreciate as this will take away a bit of the edge for people who are a bit more sensitive to treble and upper mids, resulting in an overall sweeter, lusher tone. As for bass, I found them pretty impactful with the Final Type E as it allows for good levels of dynamics. It will not overly color the sound of your IEM, but maintains a very natural presentation of sound. Mid-range provided here has good clarity and articulation, which carries over the emotions of the singer's voice very well. Comfort-wise, they are excellent. While it does not feature the sticky nature of some more recent materials such as thermoplastic that is quite popular, this in turn allows them to be very much more comfortable without the irritation that comes with the added stickiness of such tips. The dome here is quite regular and provides very decent isolation as well. The second ear tip that I really like would be the Divinus Velvet. Now, the Divinus Velvets are another fantastic pair that serves as a great E-way stock ear tip replacement. It is very versatile and will suit a large profile of signatures from bassy to lean. The calling card of the Velvet is that it has this velvety texture on the dome of the Velvets, as well as how rigid they are. This makes them so much more comfortable. The added rigidity makes the Velvets feel much more secure in ear. The velvety texture here also allows for multiple insertions without causing too much irritation to the ear canals, of course. Sonically, they are a balanced pair as well, but offers a different presentation compared to the earlier mentioned Final Type E, which dampens treble a bit. The Velvet, on the other hand, allows for slightly more treble and upper mids, which allows for a airier listening experience, which can benefit darker sounding IEMs a tad bit more by adding just a bit more lift to the overall sound. Bass rendered through the Velvet is full-bodied and very defined. Mid-range here has delicious clarity that is aided by the slightly more airy focusedness of the Velvets. One thing about the Velvets is that I think people should know that for folks who are a bit more treble sensitive, you might want to reconsider using these as they can be a bit much, but your mileage might really vary. It really depends on you. For me, they are okay. I actually like that bit more air. The next ear tip would be the ePro Audio Propeller Pro one. Now that is really a mouthful, it's a really long name. So anyways, the Pro one from ePro is a rather quirky looking ear tips that provide quite a distinctive look and rather unique sonic properties. These are a shorter ear tip with very distinctive nozzle openings that has 3 spokes on them, and this augments sound quite a lot. I would describe these as a soundstage and vocal focused ear tips as it manages to heighten your perception of soundstage and allows for more focused vocals through their more distinctive design. When listening to your usual earphones using these, the most immediate thing that I noticed was how vocals sounded much clearer with a very good sense of air for vocal lovers. The most immediate thing that I noticed, how vocals sounded more clear and has a very good sense of air. And for vocal lovers, this is simply perfect. It renders vocals very velvety. However, with its quirky design, there is also some trade-off as well, unfortunately. One of which being that the dynamics to be slightly attenuated, which brings down the excitement by a bit. However, despite that, it is still a pair that offers a very unique rendering of vocals that would be a dream for vocal lovers. So the best pairing for this ear tips would be for earphones that are already inherently very dynamic sounding, or for all the times where you want to make vocals the center of the priority when you want to listen to things. So they really draw out vocals extremely well. And now we're going to talk about the last pair of ear tips that I really like. These are the Nostalgia Audio Extra Wide Bore, or in short they call the XWB ear tips. Now, Nostalgia Audio is a brand from Hong Kong, and I'm a big fan of the brand and the people behind it. It is made by guys who are extremely enthusiastic about audio rather than the people who constantly churn out product every other week. So the extra wide bore is their first attempt into the ear tip segment. The extra wide bore ear tips allow for more treble perception, but Nostalgia Audio did not stop just there. It did not neglect the mids and bass. The XW bore ear tips provides very good clarity that is paired with great levels of comfort as well. So what they did with the extra wide bore ear tips, obviously extra wide bore, the nozzle opening is actually really big, which gives you a very good treble performance. It's very airy. Now the dome of it is actually, I wouldn't say thin, but it is thick enough to carry enough mids and bass to the overall sound as well. So it's actually a very balanced ear tip. In a way, you can say that it's kind of like the Divinus Velvet, but they are not as rigid as the Divinus Velvet per se. But overall, I think that they actually did a great job. This is one where if you listen to a lot of weed music, you like the upper mid rise, this ear tip can give you that extra kick to your earphones that will make weed music sound quite a bit better. So anyways, these are my favorite ear tips so far in 2025. I've got a plugin that I want to make, so you guys, if you guys been following the channel, you'll know that I'm heading to Mumbai on February. So if you are at Headphone Connect Mumbai, see me there. I hope to see you guys there. We've got some amazing pins made by a very nice friend of mine. She does really good stuff. She made my pins, designed everything from there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And after that, I'll be heading to NYC. So if you guys see me in NYC, do drop by and say hi. Always very happy to meet. Thank you guys for watching the Super Chunk Super Audio Show. Yeah, I hope to see you guys soon, and hopefully sooner in person.